So the rest of the guys that are going to be joining me up here would be, so one is Alex. He's one of the top guys when it comes to marketing, especially for the Philippine market. Next one is Dov Allin. He's the affiliate guy for Asia. I know nobody better than this guy when it comes to marketing for the Asia market. Next one's Bhavesh. Okay, so Bhavesh is with 48 Pacific. Last one would be the lady in the bunch, Nataliia. She is the affiliate marketing manager for Parimatch. So they're starting to make their big push into the Asia region. And she's in charge of making sure that they get the affiliates that they need. There you go, colorful bunch. We're all good? Okay, so let's start. So for the Asia region, the thing that makes Asia, I guess in a way, harder to get into than the regulated markets is the fact that Asia is unregulated. Therefore, most of the usual marketing strategies that you could do digitally or online would be a lot more difficult to execute. Not like, say, in European countries that are regulated, you can easily run ads on Google and Facebook, and they'd allow you because you do have a license. In Asia, it's not going to be that easy. So these guys are in charge of making sure that all of those challenges are met and solved. So let's start off with Allin. Dov Allin.
Thank you very much.
What do you think makes it difficult for European operators, for example, who want to get into Asia specifically? What have you seen has worked for them and has not worked for them in these years that you've been in the industry?
So I'm gonna give back a little overview of the online business in globally. So we have basically 5 ways to get traffic: SEO, Google AdWords, media buying, social media, and apps or lead gen. Definitely, I only do SEO. I think that is a higher conversion rate, higher player value. Now, for the social media, I'm too old. I don't have Instagram, Twitter account, so it's a part I don't know. And most of what I know is a low player value. Media buying is not really known here in Asia. Now, of course, the European will arrive here. I arrived here in Philippines in 2015, and I started the affiliate business in 2016. So now, since I'm only driving traffic from SEO for Vietnam, Thailand, and I try to get more and more countries. Now, of course, I have the new company from Europe coming to Asia. So, of course, you have to localize, understand the traffic, understand the industry of this target. Most of them, usually, they start with Japan because they have friends already doing Japan. Payment solution in Japan is more easy. The network is more easy. Targeting China, you need to have a connection to China. The same for Vietnam, Thailand. So the difficulty for most of our brand is to have someone localize and help them to go for payment solution and get the right traffic. That answer for the European one.
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks. So if you guys have questions later on, please feel free to ask them. After a few minutes, we will start taking questions from you guys so that we know we address whatever topics you really want to do instead of us, talking about things which matter to us, which may not be entirely what you wanted to hear. So, Alex.
Same question. Oh, need a microphone. Hello. Hey. That's working all right? Oh, there we go. All right. So, Dov, great guy, knows his shit, particularly in Thailand and across Southeast Asia, so highly recommended if you need somebody in that area. He's French, though, so you gotta watch him. And je parle français, that's your point. Anyways, I agree with everything he said, except that he left off a lot of things, as he always does. There's no silver bullet in our industry to magically drive players. Every now and then, there's a glimpse of it. Like, do you remember when, you're probably too young, but when HTML emails first came out, the click rates were amazing. Yeah, when banner campaigns were on the home pages of portals, and you had a 10% click rate, it was like glory days. And it was glory days. And then click rates dropped down. Now nobody clicks on a banner, nobody clicks on an email, nobody clicks on an SMS, because everybody gets in there, particularly our industry, and spams the hell out of it, and then everyone just ignores it, and you have to go on to the next big thing. Web push, same thing. I started using web push a few years ago. It was great. Now I send out 30,000 web pushes, and I get 3 clicks. Like, yikes. Maybe my creative sucks, which is possible, but the technology is constantly moving, yeah? And so, when I say there's no silver bullet, there can be a silver bullet every now and then. In 2011, speak close to the microphone. Thank you, you're welcome. In 2011 in the UK, I was with a bingo operator that didn't do any television. I pushed them on TV. And they said, oh, TV doesn't work, it's gonna generate higher CPAs, blah, blah, blah. Bang, CPAs were cut in half, the numbers were fantastic, people were dying, they doubled my budget every quarter, and it was not a small budget. And then, 3 years later, it doesn't work at all because it's super saturated because everyone saw that it works. So you've got to watch these things and you've got to stay ahead of the game. And now the game, a lot of people will tell you, is about influencers. Oh, get these influencers, get these influencers. Although, actually on the cutting edge of influencer usage, you see people are pulling back from them, if they're not disappearing like they do in China. But people are, am I speaking too fast? I'll go Mapagal. Influencers are interesting, and if you can find the right one that's talking to your audience, then it's magical. It's really beautiful. And there was a guy in Australia that was doing online 21 and online slots and things, and he just drove FTDs like crazy and CPAs really low, and he made millions, and the operator was doing really well until they pulled out of the market because of market conditions. But there was that opportunity there. And you find the right guy, things can go great. Stake.com, which is a Bitcoin casino, which we'll be talking about later this afternoon, they did the most clever single thing I've seen, and then I'll pass the microphone on, but the single most clever thing I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years in this industry is Stake.com makes every single person that signs up a potential affiliate. Right there on their homepage, or maybe you have one click away, it says, here's how to put your link in your social media. Here's how to put your link in your stream. You can put your link anywhere you want. Put it in your emails to friends, put it on your LinkedIn, whatever. And it's brilliant. And they've grown really, really well and really, really fast on the back of it. They have a lot of other issues. But that strategy, that simple little strategy where you just put in stake.com/AFF equals my username, boom, and I get credit for bringing you in. That's a great person-to-person kind of thing that I really haven't seen in like 20 years. So it was a nice move. And it's one good takeaway. If you're in B2C and you need to generate players, take a look at the stake.com affiliate strategy. It's today's silver bullet. When everyone's doing it, it won't matter anymore.
Okay. Bhavesh, would you want to chime in?
Yeah, there is no silver bullet. What you just mentioned that players being an affiliate itself are currently the silver bullet. Yes, that's true. I'll just be very honest. I'll just start my thoughts. Asia is a very complicated market. Each country is very different. I've seen brands coming into, especially European brands, come into Asia and they burn lots and lots of money because they make mistakes. They don't do proper localization. And they are using marketing methods that would work in other markets but not in Asia. Like previously mentioned by our 2 panelists, you've got SEO, which is actually very good, and you've also got the play affiliates or bring a friend program. There are also now a lot of new marketing strategies out there. Media buy doesn't work. Don't waste any money on that, that's for sure. Influencers, yes, there are influencers who do help bring traffic and bring players, but they are. You must remember that Asia is a very, very regulated market. You will not find influencers who are willing to go on Twitch or to go on Facebook and show their face and say, hey guys, I'm trying out this online casino right now. It's called abc.com. Why don't you give it a try and then use my link below. You won't find them here in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, India. You will find a lot of Facebook groups. You'll find a lot of Telegram groups. You'll find a lot of WhatsApp groups. And do not how do you say? Don't dismiss adult networks. Adult traffic is very good conversion. So you can do a lot on adult traffic. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I could go on for the whole day. So next question, please.
Adult traffic you mentioned works. I remember about a decade ago when I used to work for Vodog, actually, one of the eye-opening things that I discovered was the fact that our top performing affiliate at the time was actually driving nothing but adult traffic for Vietnam and China even. So I've tried it lately. It's not performing as well as it used to be back then when we were trying it out. But I'm sure in certain regions, in certain specific countries, it probably still does work to a point where it still makes business sense.
Yeah, at the moment it does, especially for the India market and the Thailand market. Porn is universal. It comes down to the content creator and also the how do you say? The targeting, the campaigns that you do, the keyword targeting, the geo, you need to do proper campaign settings, and also comes down to your creatives. Doing a certain banner creative in Thailand that says sign up now and get an FTD bonus may not work in Thailand, but it may work in India. So there's a lot of A/B testing. You will make mistakes. Be prepared for that. You will burn some money. But at least if your team is effective enough, they will learn from these mistakes fast, and you can start recouping. Adult network actually for our B2C brands are actually improving slowly. So there is still the potential there.
For which geo are you talking about?
I'm talking for India and Thailand. For India and Thailand. For India, you have, you can actually, surrogate marketing works really, really well. It is super well. You should see how the masters there, the beer commercial companies, how they do it. They do it perfectly. So emulating them and doing surrogate branding, surrogate marketing, which is not illegal in India, actually does work. So yeah, if any B2C brands here, go back and talk to your marketing team and look into it.
For the uninformed, can you just explain or define surrogate marketing?
Okay, I will use the beer commercial as a very good example. So there are beer companies like Kingfisher and all. They can't actually advertise during Kingfisher beer on TV or radio or print. So what they do is they have a simple product, Kingfisher mineral water. So they would advertise. Some people having a group of a group of adults having fun at a party or something, having food, and they drink Kingfisher mineral water, and the person will say, drink Kingfisher. And it's a mineral water, but in India, it works so well that people, when they think of Kingfisher, they don't think of Kingfisher mineral water, they will think of Kingfisher alcohol, or it can be the same with Carlsberg or Tiger. And when you port this sort of marketing idea into online gambling, you have to find something suitable. A very good example is Buxit. Buxit is actually a news brand. It's an online news website that is targeting both Thailand and India at the moment. And they've done surrogate marketing by having fantasy sports in India. And by generating more and more traffic and more players in fantasy sports in India, they've actually been able to, divert the players, divert that traffic into their gambling brands. Okay. So in a way, this kind of surrogate marketing does work, But there is trial and error. There will be costs involved, so be prepared.
Okay,
I just want to add something.
Okay.
One second, because you. First, we try to give you like an overview of the different way how operators or affiliate bring traffic. Yes, I don't do social media, but social media can work well for operators because they can track deeper and is part of their branding. For an affiliate, it's very more difficult. Number two, when you say media buying doesn't work, I think the technology in South Asia, people doesn't have the knowledge that in Europe. In Europe, we use real-time bidding platform with pixel and different type. Here, 99% of the time when I talk about operators, did you try media buying? They say, it doesn't work. Now, if I ask you, did you use pixels?
Sorry?
Did you use pixels on the media buying?
Peak sales.
Exactly. Most of the time, they don't know. So, I mean, the technology of the pixel, and you have to put the pixel in the lead page and in the acquisition page. Now, the pixel is, if you do media buying and you don't have pixel, that will not work. What we talk about for you media buying is like a flat fee on a banner. Now, I do media buying, and usually my CPA cost is 50 and multiply by 10 my income. So media buying will work if your operator, as an operator, your platform has the technology to integrate. If not, yes, that was a parenthesis.
Okay, Nataliia, I remember you having mentioned that you guys with Parimatch have actually done quite a few successful campaigns for your part of the world. What do you think of all those things that you've found successful? Do you think you can execute in Asia for you to be able to somehow replicate the success that you achieved in Europe?
Can you hear me?
No?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. First of all, very happy to have a word today. Quick introduction. Parimatch Affiliates is an affiliate program of Parimatch brand. Our biggest geos, India. We are entering Thailand, Vietnam, doing also Brazil, and we are very big in CIS markets. So as you, Jonathan, asked, based on our experience operating in other markets, I would say that what differentiates our part of the world and your part of the world, I mean Southeast Asia and Asia, is that actually media buying, as we were discussing, is quite a big thing in countries like, let's say, Ukraine, post-Soviet countries, where people can actually know how to do it, and they do it very well, not only for our regions, like European regions, but also they do it successfully in Southeast Asia and Asia. Basically, we have quite a big network of such affiliates that can do all over the world. And the thing is with unregulated markets. Obviously, it gets difficult doing Facebook and Google ads. So the trick is here to be able to do the surrogate advertising and also, as we say, like black hat advertisement, which can target the right audience over these traffic acquisition channels. So if you are looking for good affiliates, just pay attention to not only the local affiliates, but also the affiliates from those regions. So these traffic acquisition channels have worked and is working very well for Parimatch affiliates, for us. The other point is obviously all but gold is SEO traffic. Yeah, SEO traffic. Just make sure that you are present on all biggest websites with the right audience from right countries. What other things have worked well for us? I would say that's obviously the cooperation with influencers, and I think that would obviously work in India. Let's say sponsoring an old cricket player, which is extremely popular in India and has like huge audience. That same can go for other regulated markets. Like let's say the Philippines also, it's possible to do a lot of such activities, which will then reinforce your marketing in different ways. You can use the sponsorships like for everything, for every marketing campaign. Then if we move to, let's say, adult traffic, which you mentioned, yes, at Parimatch we also did that. And in my experience working with traffic, I would say that adult traffic is a very specific kind of traffic. It works well for brand awareness. But if we say about performance, then I would question this part, because based on my experience, adult traffic doesn't work for lots of markets, lots of geos. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Nataliia. So for Asia as a whole, I guess, the primary acquisition method for most operators here would be affiliate marketing. So it's heavily driven by the affiliate companies, the affiliates, who have a very firm control of online traffic, especially search engine traffic. And Dov, I wanted to ask you, as an affiliate, what things do you find difficult in terms of operators wanting to work with you? Like example, earlier you were mentioning being able to have tracking pixels so that you can then optimize your campaigns. The problem with that, of course, is that you would need the approval and the cooperation of the operators to allow you to put your tracking pixels on their sites, so that you can now then figure out what works and what doesn't work, so you can optimize your campaign and put your money where it's supposed to be, instead of just shotgunning your way through the internet. So what would you want as the bare minimum in terms of cooperation, so that operators can, because one of the things that they have to worry about as operators is being able to find and keep really good affiliates. What would it take?
So for South Asia first, I think when I arrived, I would say affiliate was not so big. It was more Asian on all this region. Most of the operators are depending on the Asian for payment solution and getting the traffic. That was maybe 80% in 2016. The evolution of the Asian market, I would say, is like in 3 years is what they do in 6 years in Europe in the past 15 years. Now, the affiliate, I would say maybe is 50-50. During I would say the lockdown, because the pandemic doesn't have impact. I think the lockdown has impact because people stay at home. During the lockdown, I think some agents had problem to be in touch with their players, and then they have switched to affiliate also. Now, what do we need from the operators? We need, of course, a good partnership. Now, if they don't have the right affiliate platform, it's difficult. Most of the affiliate, we work on the SEO. Media buying is not the first priority, I will say, for the operators, because they need the pixel and so on. And usually in this market, which is, I mean, in Europe, regulated market is more easy to do media buying now. Big company as media buying doesn't want to work with gambling industry, so you have to go in a different way. So if we stay in the SEO, we need a good affiliate platform where we can have our data at every second. Not like, let me update the data. You can check in 1 week. That is one. Of course, the operator we choose for South Asia is one, localized, good payment solution, good platform, the right bonus, and then to be able to pay the affiliates.
On time.
I have some brand that didn't pay me for 10 months. I'm still looking for them. They are not here today. I have some during the lockdown, the fact that they moved the team out of the office, so the finance team was working from home. They are not able to bring back the money from some of the countries back to Philippines, so they cannot pay you. Now, of course, we jump to the crypto, but it's not also easy. After you have to cash out your crypto, pay your whatsoever. So the difficulty for some of them was the payment during the lockdown on the affiliates. Now, the new affiliates who come usually is some of the operators doesn't want to work with affiliates. They just don't work. And the others, they don't reach out to the affiliate, or the affiliate cannot have a contact with the operators. So usually, again, we go back to the one from Europe coming to target Asia. Yeah, I think that is it. One more thing also, during the campaigns, when you talk, yeah, porn is good also. I mean, like you say, every kind of traffic can be good. Even if you spend, let's say, $10,000, the goal after is, if you have a high player, we're gonna bring 100,000, then you make your money, so you save. So sometimes there is no good traffic. You just have to try and wait. And the same for like Google AdWords, or let's say media buying. You don't do media buying for 1 or 2 months. You have to set up something for 6 months. So that was another part. Thank you.
Okay, Nataliia, you have something to say?
Yes, I think this topic is related to what I do, and I can share my insights from the work with affiliates. So I would add that very important thing is when you integrate new affiliates to your affiliate program, is be sure that your affiliate team, affiliate managers, know that to every affiliate you have to have individual approach. For example, not every affiliate looks for the same kind of deal. Be flexible with payment models, cooperation model that you are offering. It can be revenue share, which is better for SEO. It can be CPA if you are talking about paid traffic. It can be hybrid, because some affiliates prefer this cooperation model. And be sure also that you clearly defined what kind of traffic you expect, what traffic is restricted, what are your requirements in terms of the quality of the traffic, how do you define it, how much time do you need to qualify the quality of your traffic, and then come back to an affiliate with a clear report about the quality and explain well to that affiliate why did you qualify this amount, this part of his or her traffic, and not the other part. So that make it clear. Also, like, pay attention to how fast you communicate, reply to the affiliates inquiries. Invest in the relationship. Talk not only about work, but also like make friends with them. Go to the conferences. Be sure you meet in person. Doesn't matter what country they are in. Just try to be there. Just try to meet with them. Also, make parties, or like hang out, have fun, because no work is. Brings so much pleasure when you don't have any fun. So that's it. If you are talking about the best affiliates, I think if you are in good terms with them, then the rest will come.
Alex.
You know, I love affiliates too, and in the West, for brands in North America, 70% of my players are coming from affiliates, and they're getting good CPAs, or they're getting a big rev share. But then you look at regulated markets like the Philippines, or in France, or in Italy, or in Spain, other places where you're trying to operate in a regulated market, and the operator is paying anywhere from COVID cane as paying anywhere from 20% to 47.5% tax on their GGR. And that really, really eats into their bottom line. And they can't turn around and give these 40%, 50% rev shares or $200, $300, $500 CPAs like we used to give casino.org, which is a great site and a great affiliate. But we can't afford it. No one can afford it. Luckily, none of our competitors in the regulated space can afford it either. But that's the, every market is different. Like if you're doing stuff in the Philippines, you're doing stuff on Viber or Telegram. If you're doing stuff in Thailand, you're using Line, right? And so every market's got its little differentiations that you have to pay attention to. But then the big difference comes in when the regulators are sitting on top of you, control what you can say, control what you can do. And that's not even the bad part. It's the taxes that impact the financial operations and what you can do versus what they can do elsewhere. So you're up against illegal operators, black market operators, gray market operators who can afford to spend a lot more money with affiliates than the guys that are regulated. So, when you're looking at your markets, it's definitely something to consider. And when you're looking at your channels to the market, that's something you totally have to consider as well.
Bhavesh, I noticed in the last several years that a lot of operators are developing this really keen interest of getting into the India market. Why do you think that is so?
India is a huge market. It is an absolutely huge market. And one thing good about the Indian market is that cricket is their holy game. So if you were to do good marketing, good focus, and you find the right influencers, the right affiliates, the right marketing people whose fan base and people who actually follow them, listen to them, are cricket players, you can get a lot of revenue. You can get a lot of players. And in like Malaysia, you have sports, you have slots, you have live casino players. Thailand, you have sports, you have slots. Vietnam, you have sports and slots as well. So each market has like 2 or 3 products you should be focusing on, whereas India, it's bam, cricket. End of story. You just need to focus on cricket, and that's where you will get your revenue. So it is much easier. Your marketing costs will be much more effective. And one thing good about India is that thankfully at the moment their salaries are still low compared to the Philippine market, compared to other countries. So you can afford to hire better qualified people. You can get much more experienced people to help your brand in India.
Okay, that's interesting.
I remember Parimatch is in India, and one thing I recently just saw, hats off, you guys bought a huge banner, a billboard. I was like, wow, hats off. That one, till today, I will always respect Parimatch for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you think they...
in case no one knows the significance of why my hat's off to Parimatch is that India is a very gray market, so it's a very fine line you're walking. You advertise too much, the government will get pissed off and they'll block you and they'll get you into trouble. But if you don't advertise enough, people won't know your brand. So Parimatch doing the billboard is a very, very fine line, and it is, till today, I believe the gutsiest move, and I really respect that.
After cricket and badminton, what do you think is going to be the next games for India?
I would like to add to what my fellow speaker said, that while doing this bolt of advertisement, if you go offline in such market as India, you have to make sure that you do it within the legal restrictions. You have to make sure you have a great legal team on board and be able to go public and explain that you did it within legal restriction. And the reason why our brand has grown so much in recent years and became one of the top brands in India, I would say that, is because we are doing this kind of marketing. That's because our brand is in front of Indian audience everywhere, like everywhere you can imagine. That's the reason. Just make sure that your legal team is qualified.
But also because Parimatch is a known name in France, and you are really regulated in France, no? Because it's a brand from France, yeah?
For France? No, we are not in France.
No, that's Parimatch, the magazine.
Parimatch.
This is Parimatch out of Ukraine. No worries.
Yeah, I heard about that. So much confusion going on between these two words.
Okay, maybe it's time for us to take questions from the audience, if there's any. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. None? 1, 2.
I have a question, actually.
Okay. Julia, please.
I have a question, yes. So we were talking about the size of the Indian market and how big it is. Do you have any numbers on cost per acquisition, per player, and I'm not sure what the term is, but the average player value, let's say, in India? Because like you said, Bhavesh, the salaries are still quite low, so I'm trying to understand, how much are they spending, if you have any numbers. Maybe Parimatch can answer, or Bhavesh. Thank you.
I'm just thinking of the numbers at the moment. I can, combining other brands, friends that I know that we have had discussions over and chats and messaging groups. In India, the player lifetime value is not as high as you get in Europe. You should get you would be lucky to get maybe about 500 USD per player. You would be very lucky because you must understand USD, the conversion rate between INR and USD is still very much there. So that's why a few of the brands, when we do cost per player and then overheads, basically the net profit, we use just the India market. We don't combine it with our other markets because salaries versus exchange rates is very different. Whereas in terms of acquiring a single player, it is between, I would say, between 1,000 to 3,000 INR. I can't remember the conversion rate between INR and USD at the moment, but it's somewhere between there.
Okay, thank you.
What about the live player time value? Like, are they loyal like Japan? Or are they like Vietnamese and they go to 10 different brands and Bunny Seeker?
No, there's no such thing as loyal to players. There's no such thing as loyal players in India. If you're lucky, you will have 1 or 2, but they won't stay with you for very long. So that's why the player lifetime value is really low. They will hop and switch, hop and switch, hop and switch. You will get players who register now. 6 months later, they'll make a deposit. They'll play for maybe a month. And then they will disappear for another 3 months, and then they'll come back. So they're not very continuous. They have so many choices at the moment. There's Parimatch, there is Betway, there is Kasumo, all of these brands over there, and everyone is fighting for the same market. And so yeah, you won't get player loyalty there. At the moment, there is. I think if you can get a single player who has deposited maybe above 5,000 USD, 5,000 USD, you're considered very lucky. So in India, it works more on, how do you say, bulk. You work on bulk.
Okay. And do they redraw every day, every week?
Oh yes, they withdraw every day. As soon as they win some, they withdraw. As soon as they win some, they withdraw. So your payment teams, for any B2C out there, your payment teams will be extremely busy, especially with the India market. Especially when you have a lot of depositing methods, IMPS, UEPI, or the banking methods, you will have a lot of withdrawals. Just to give you a very simple scope, an operations team handling India payment market alone has 2 shifts. Each shift is 12 hours, and each shift has roughly 50 people. So payment team handling India alone's deposits and withdrawals is about 100 people. So thankfully, like I said, India's salaries are still quite low.
Thank you.